But my thing is, do LeBron have a deficiency?
Ooh.
Yes.
Look at this. Pops is like, oh, Muggsy got him. All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all are doing good. So I was taking a walk with my dog and listening to this podcast. Once again, it's the Mark Jackson Show, and it's called Come and Talk to Me. This time around, they had Muggsy Bogues on, and I'm like, I was taking a long walk and just enjoying a good basketball conversation. And 46 minutes in, Mark Jackson asked Muggsy what he feels about what Antman, Anthony Edwards, had to say about their era, because they were both in this era. So his statement was saying that Michael Jordan was the only one that had talent in that era. And so these are two guys from Jordan's era. We heard what Dominique said, Eddie Johnson. Like, we've heard a lot of people come out and speak at how disrespectful of a statement that is. So here we are again. It's Muggsy Bogues' turn. So I'm going to link the original video down below. So if you want to check out the full podcast, go right ahead. The link is down there. Everybody else, please leave a like to this video. We all know what level of disrespect Antman pulled off. So I think it's important we get these kind of things out there. And in an hour-long podcast, these things are often missed because not too many people are listening to the entire podcast. So if we can center this, push it out, that would be awesome. Like I said, I don't know what Muggsy's about to say, but I can imagine what he's going to say. He's going to feel a certain way. He's going to feel disrespected. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Well, truthfully, you're one of one. There's been a lot of small players throughout history, but you are one of one. You've impacted on the defensive end, leading a break and making plays like no other small guy in the history of the game, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So shout out to that. Question about today's game. The great Anthony Edwards, and I say this respectfully, but recently made comments referring to the players of the 90s, where Michael Jordan was basically, I'm paraphrasing, was basically the only high-skilled player. Talk about players that we played against and played with that would still be great players today.
Man, listen, I believe every NBA player who played on the NBA level believe they can play in any era. If they didn't think that way, they wouldn't even got to the era, to that level at the beginning. As I said earlier, skill sets changed. The era changed. You think about the era when Bob Cousy was playing, how the game was played back then. And then all of a sudden, Magic and them come along, how the game was played in the early 80s. And then we in the late 80s and we in the early 90s, how the game was played then. And then even when the 2000 came in, the game was played a little different because of the rules.
Mm-hmm.
They had to change the rules because of the skill set of certain individuals. So that's always going to be the case. And for Anthony Edwards, which I love, for him to say that Michael was the only skilled player back in the 90s, that is ridiculous. That's not being a student of the game.
Yeah, that's it. He's not being a student of the game. That's not knowing your damn history for what you do for a living.
Because if you call yourself a student of the game, then you look at all the eras, and just like now that they talk about who's this GOAT, that GOAT. That's so disrespectful for so many guys that play this game. It's so disrespectful, but we can all see that when we look at a player, what type of skill set he possessed, and if he had any type of deficiencies amongst his game.
Mm-hmm.
We only seen a guy that didn't have any deficiency.
Speaking about Jordan, yeah, he's the only person we ever say that about. He didn't have a weakness.
And had the fundamentals as well as the athletic ability to play it at the highest level as no one played. And so,
yeah,
I mean, I would never say who is the GOAT of the game, but I would say that, MJ was a different player than any other player that I have ever witnessed, and he became that guy that feared a lot of opponents. Kareem numbers, LeBron numbers. You got numbers, and
Numbers.
people would forget about Kobe. I mean, how you gonna forget about Kobe?
Man, thank you. He's another one. Yeah. It's just like I think KG was saying it too. Like, how you gonna? LeBron never passed Kobe, guys. Let's be real. It never happened. It was the media that tricked you. He never passed Kobe. It's not happened.
He's accomplished and the way he was able to play the game and impact it. The second coming of MJ. So it's really, it's sad that, folks think if they call themselves a student of the game, if they can't see that full vision of all the players that came through the league and how they was able to impact the league, the Jerry West. I mean, you just keep going on about the Oscar Robertson, these guys that played the game.
Shout out.
How they impact the game in terms of who is the best player that ever played this game. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Short comment here. Like, when it comes to, I like to think outside of basketball when it comes to this, because it's such a disrespectful thing. So saying that, like, okay, Jordan was the only one who had skills back then, nobody else had skills, right? Like, that's an obvious thing because we all know basketball. But if you take it to like a different market, like say building cars, a car factory, nowadays it's all built by machines. It's all automated, and there's a couple of humans in there, checking the line, quality control, etc. But it's machines, and they're doing it much more efficiently now than humans were able to. Go back in time, many years ago, humans were doing it with their bare hands. So they were producing less back then. However, they obviously had skills. They had skills that the current people in that industry don't have. And you can say that about any industry. I like bringing up music too. So just because rock and roll, rock has evolved into what it is in 2024, does that mean we discount the Beatles, the Stones, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix? Do we say that they all sucked? They were nobody. They didn't have any skills. You got to respect those who paved the way for you.
You don't got nothing to say, Paul? You gonna make me responsible to that? What's up?
No.
You know how I feel. I'll respond.
Oh, shoot. And before this happens, I found out through the comments of my previous video, this is Mark Jackson's son right here. So it's a father and son podcast. So that's why his perspective is very different, because he's much younger.
Look.
Hold on. Did the audio cut out in there? Hold on. That might have been the pod.
Fine. Look.
Yeah, that's the pod.
I agree with everything that you said. I feel like if you took somebody like Bob Cousy or some of the players that you named and you put them in today's game and taught them and told them, hey, this is the way that the game is played, they would still be at the level that they were all-time level.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
I think it's just timing and what you learn at that time or the way the game is played. So I agree with you. But I do think that the GOAT conversation, as much as I hear you saying is disrespectful, I think it's a necessary conversation because when you do separate guys like Michael Jordan, Kareem, LeBron, Kobe from the pack, it ultimately is a sign of respect.
It was a sign of respect when there were multiple. Now it's just Jordan or LeBron. And that's why it in itself is disrespectful, in my opinion. Nobody's talking about Kareem. Nobody mentions Wilt. Nobody throws Kobe in there anymore. In the media, I'm talking about us real basketball players, or us real basketball fans. We do, but everyone, LeBron has it set up somehow now where it's either him or Jordan, and that's it. And he's propaganda for himself, promoting himself as the GOAT. So. Yeah, it was a lot nicer when there was a bunch of people. And when Kobe was inching closer towards the Jordan level, GOAT status-wise, that was a much more respectful time. Because nobody was sitting around saying, oh, Jordan's trash because Kobe's better. No, man. If anybody was saying Kobe was better than Jordan, it was in a respectful way.
Okay, what you consider the GOAT?
Good question.
Who?
What is it?
I said, what do you consider as the GOAT?
To me, I'm very straightforward with my guidelines. So to me, LeBron hits all of the stats. If you are statistically doing it
I'm
for
sorry. Look at the look on Buggsy's face. He's like, what guidelines?
this long of a time, I think that it's unfair to be like a dude that did it for a shorter amount of time just because he didn't lose in the finals is better.
Okay, so it's longevity that young Jackson is saying. That's what he's promoting here is longevity.
I can't agree with that.
Well, I just think, he stayed healthier than everybody, like played longer than everybody, so he was able to accumulate those numbers. If guys would have stayed longer, they might have accumulated those numbers as well.
Yeah, like MJ.
Some guys that took a little time off and then came back and played.
He's definitely talking about MJ.
But my thing is, do LeBron have a deficiency?
Ooh.
Yes.
Look at this. Pops is like, oh, Muggsy got him. Look how straight-faced he was just a second ago before Muggsy asked the question. Okay, all right, let's go through this.
Do LeBron have a deficiency?
Yes. Yeah.
And what is that?
Just multiple.
I would say it's more than one thing. I would say
it's more than okay. All right, I'm gonna just leave it at that. It's more than one thing. What is MJ's deficiency?
Oh, get him.
I would say that MJ's deficiency, and nobody ever wants to talk about it. We torched Kobe for his selfish plays because we watched it firsthand all at the same time, and there was social media. So we could say, yo, he shot over 5 people, and there's a dude in the corner. We don't say that for Michael Jordan because we don't see all of the game footage right away. But that's a deficiency to me, that he won't make the right play at certain times.
But that's not a deficiency. That's not a skill set. That's not a skill set. That's just a decision, a choice that he made because he feel like he can accomplish on 5 or 3 guys that's playing if he can still be successful.
Yep.
What I'm saying is
that means his game is so good he can hit that shot. Kobe too. I gotta always bring it up. Jordan averaged 50% shooting his whole career. Actually, the majority of his career, he averaged more than that. His last 2 years in the Wizards brought his percentage down. So when you're shooting better than everybody else and you are shooting those crazy shots, man, you got the green light all day. Just like Steph Curry does nowadays. He's got the green light all day. You want a shot? Take the shot because you shoot better than everybody else. And that was Jordan back then. So, yeah, that's not a deficiency. That means he's that damn good. He can shoot over that many people. And it's still the best option in that lineup is for him to take that shot. But I hope they get into defense and stuff because LeBron has so many deficiencies. Free throws, you name it, clutch.
With 3 guys that's playing if he can still be successful. What I'm saying is
that's a fair point.
LeBron can't shoot free throws.
Yeah, that's one.
Well, I don't say. Let me take it. I'm not saying that he can't shoot free throws. He's not a great free throw shooter. Yeah. I love LeBron.
No, he's like 73% or something like that. I think career.
I mean, I really love LeBron James. I love what LeBron stands for. I love what LeBron had done with his basketball career.
Oh, he's doing the Stephen A. Smith intro.
Came in as day one and still has kept that status all the way through to his 21 years or how many years he's played.
But
without any blemish on his record.
But
I love it. And what he has done in the community and uplift his people that are around him, that is beyond remark. But when it comes to the game of basketball and the skill set of the game of basketball, that's where it separates from a guy like LJ and a guy like LeBron in terms of the skill set. Michael had no deficiency fundamentally. He was one of the most fundamentally sound guys that ever played the game.
Get him.
And athletic-wise, I mean, hey, that's in the class of his own. So that's why when I say about guys, and MJ always hasn't been that way. When he was in college, he couldn't even go left. It was hard for him to go left.
Yep, Kenny Smith confirmed the same thing.
But he worked on that aspect of his game to the point to where that has not become a deficiency anymore.
Exactly. Kenny Smith also said he had bad handles in college, but by the time he got to the NBA, that was no longer a thing. He can go left, and he had good dribbles, good handles. So it's like, oh crap. And then a couple years later, he proved himself as the best defender in the league, winning the DPOY. Like, anything that you could say is a deficiency in his game that he walked into the league with, he corrected within the first couple of years. Same thing with his jump shot. They criticized his jump shot. And y'all remember the last 3 championships he won? Yeah, it was 90% on the jump shot. Said he couldn't shoot threes. How'd he win the 92 finals? With the 3. Like, Muggsy's dead on. He's the only player I've ever seen that doesn't have a weakness.
So that's what I talk about when I say skill set, when I talk about the game and, how one consider himself as the top of it. I look at the skill set and what they can do overall.
Mm-hmm. The full
That's
package.
where I come in.
You heard it from the Muggsy Bogues show.
You heard it from Muggsy.
You heard it from the Muggsy Bogues
broke it
show.
down good.
Muggsy.
He broke it down. He broke it down.
And you can see the difference between basketball players and how they think of greatness, breaking down their pros and cons as a basketball player. What do they do on the court? What's lacking on the court? Versus a fan who his first things he brought up was numbers, because LeBron has stacked all these numbers because he's played so long. Fan versus real player. Your stacked up numbers doesn't get you any respect in the park. But you going out there and busting ass like MJ did, man, people will be looking at you like, who the hell is this guy? It's instant respect.
Well, there's 2 more things from me. Blocking the shot of the great Patrick Ewing.
Oh, I gotta stick around for this.
I told Big Pat, soon as I did it, and as I came back, I told him he was going to be part of my highlight family. Right? I told him he was going to be part.
And he is.
Pat, he always wanted to do that little fadeaway, and I just happened to be right there when he tried to do it. And it didn't take much to get up to get it. But when I got it, he was so surprised, being at the right place at the right time.
That sounds good, but he watches every show. So send him a message right now about that.
And you know what?
Talk to Pat.
I saw the show when he was on with you guys. I saw the big fella. Big fella, ain't nothing but love. Ain't nothing but love. I had a 44-inch vertical back then. I could get up. You can't be testing me like that in front of me.
Oh.
Come on, Big Daddy.
I love it.
And he's not even the tallest guy that you blocked his shot.
Really?
In practice, you blocked 7'7", the new bowl shot.
Wait. In practice? Wait, he blocked Manute Bol?
Blocked his shot. In practice, you blocked 7'7", the new bowl shot. Talk about that.
Practice?
Yeah, and Newt, he chased me around the gym for 15 minutes right after. Because, he had a little slingshot. He used to put the shot on his shoulder.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, I had a 44-inch. And as he put that on his shoulder, boy, he was mad. That made Moses' day. He chased me. You should see this big guy chase me around Boise State gymnasium trying to catch me. Long legs, and he can't run as fast as I can. But it was a treat, man. I missed that guy. And he's another one tried to wrestle me.
Okay, earlier in the podcast, he was talking about how he's a wrestler, and he's way stronger than most people realize. So I forgot who it was. I think it was Kendall Gill on the Hornets that he pissed him off, and Muggsy literally picked him up and body slammed him into the dirty laundry bin. And it's like a true story because like people from Charlotte all saw it, and they all have done their testimony on it. So apparently he's been wrestling a lot of NBA players. Let's hear what this is.
That's what happened, Muggs.
And we on an elevator, and knowing that his head is like this, he got his head ducked down because he can't stand all the way on top of the elevator. And he always poking me in my side like, ugh. I'm like, Newt, stop, Newt. Newt, stop. He got, yeah. He did it one too many times, and my reaction just soon as he did it, I just grabbed it like and forgot that his head was right here at the top of the ceiling.
Oh man.
And when I picked him up, his head was
Oh
at
no.
the top. Oh man, as soon as the elevator opened, he chased me down the hall, trying to catch me down the hallways in the hotel.
I'm sorry. The image, the mental image of Manute Bull, 7'7", chasing little Muggsy around. Like it's the second time he said he's chasing him. That's the funniest thing ever. I would pay to just like watch a 2-minute video of Muggsy getting chased around by Manute while there's like clown music being played in the background.
We was at the guest quarters in Philadelphia. You remember we used to play there? We'd go play at
Absolutely.
Philly at the guest quarters. Yeah, Newt was funny, man. I missed that guy. He was fun.
He was great. Well, thank you so much for joining us in this episode of the Mark Jackson Show. That's the great Tyrone Muggsy Bogues, greatest little man to ever play the game, in my opinion, when you're talking about true small players. His impact is legendary, and a guy I absolutely believe should be in the Basketball Hall of Fame because of his
100%.
impact and what he's able to do. My brother, family for life, the great Muggsy Bogues. Thank you so much, bro. Love you, man.
Appreciate you, OG.
Thank you, guys. Love you guys, man. I'm so proud of you. Blue, keep doing what you do. Get the air ring again, man. I'm going to bring it back.
Bring it back.
All right, boss.
Thanks, bro.
All right, fellas. Y'all be good.
Appreciate you, legend.
My man.
Let's shout out our
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there. There's a promo for
sponsors.
Underdog Fantasy, if you guys want to check it out. All right. Damn, man. Muggsy said it straight. Before I forget, though, and I lose my train of thought, like, do you guys remember how good Charlotte was? When they had Muggsy, they had a prime and uninjured Larry Johnson. They had Alonzo Mourning, young, uninjured, prime. And, man, I think they had Del Curry, too, at that time. But, like, there's so many people I'm not remembering on that team. But just that big three alone, running the charge. Like, you got your point, you got your middle, and then you got your big man. Like, they were solid. But, man, Muggsy said it straight. And you know what? I got to give him props because he did it in such a respectful way. Because he did say that it's he didn't say ridiculous, but he said a word, something like blasphemy, you know? And he said how disrespectful it was, yet he kept calm, and he just commented on it and was trying to educate Antman. So I did like that because he showed a lot of dignity and class here while dealing with something that's very insulting to him. But I agree with everything he said. You know, fans who never played actual basketball, like, they'll talk about stats, and that's all they need is just stats. You know, who had the most stats? That's got to be the best, right? Look at the numbers. But for those who actually played basketball, and when they're watching the game, they know what to look for, the impressive things. They know what they would want in a teammate. They also know what they were trying to become themselves. So you see a guy like Michael Jordan, and you go, I mean, that's what I did when I was growing up. I looked at Michael Jordan and went, God damn, how do I get to that level? You know, because he's doing everything, and he's great at everything. So, like, you got to work on every aspect of the game. And, you know, anybody can go around and just, like, shoot 1,000 shots and not work on defense, passing, dribbling, any of that. Not go in the weight room and lift weights and all that stuff that you need to do in order to be that great. But, you know, to be able to do not just that, but everything else it takes on both ends to be the greatest, you got to give Jordan his flowers for that. And then with you ask, like, what are LeBron's deficiencies? And then there's multiple listed, even by the fan himself. And Mark Jackson's son listed multiple deficiencies, and he said it himself. He's got more than one. How can you say that guy is better than the other that has zero deficiencies? And the only thing that was listed as a deficiency was that sometimes he would take a shot while he's got multiple defenders on him. Yeah, well, debunked because he still shot at over 50%. He's just that good. Anyways, everybody, let me know what you thought about this one. I thought this was great. Everybody, if you want to check out Come and Talk to Me, the Mark Jackson show. It's only the second time I've watched it, and I mean, they're both bangers. These are great conversations that are being held here. So remember, the link is down below if you want to check out this channel. So far, I recommend it. I'm definitely keeping an eye out for it. I just found this channel about a week ago. But yeah, anyways, that's up to you guys. Please leave this video a like. If you like what Muggsy said, pump it out. And yeah, leave a comment down below on what you thought. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. I will see you very soon for the next one. In the meantime, I'll see you down low in the comments, all right? We'll talk about it. All right. Peace out, everybody.